I haven't always been into reading. To begin with, I struggled to read 5 pages, and I used to be the person who would randomly buy a book. I would read 15 pages in total over how many months it took me, and then I'd put it back in the drawer and forget all about it. And then months later, when someone mentioned that book in conversation, I'd say, "Oh yeah, I've got that book." And then I hoped they wouldn't ask me anything about it because I hadn't actually read it. I liked the idea of buying books. It made me feel productive, and owning one made me feel like a reader. But actually reading the book is something that I didn't have patience or concentration to do to begin with. So what changed wasn't motivation, but it was identity. In January 2025, I decided personal growth and self-improvement is something important to me. And I've actually finished this year having read over 16 books in total, which started by me reading just 10 pages a day. To begin with, I added reading to my habit tracker to ensure it was something I completed on my daily tick list. And every day that went by, when I visually seen I had ticked it off, it built momentum and a streak that I didn't want to break. A quick fact for you as well, if you read 10 pages per day, that's 3,650 pages per year, which is between 12 to 16 books depending on the length. So if you feel like reading 10 pages a day doesn't do much in the moment, just let that accumulate and look back over the year of how much you've actually read. Reading 10 pages a day trained my discipline without actually feeling burnt out or overwhelmed. And the first book I read in 2025 was Atomic Habits by James Clear. There's a section in the book where James talks about identity-based habits, which I will use his example and I will explain how it applies perfectly to reading. James explains the goal is not to read a book, but the goal is to become a reader. And I'll break down into 4 parts what he means by this. So number 1 is focus on identity and not outcomes. So instead of setting goals like I'm going to read 30 books this year, that habit focuses on who you want to become, which is outcome-based goals, which is temporary, but identity-based goals are permanent. Number 2, small actions reinforce identity. So by reading just 10 pages a day, it isn't about the number of books. It's about proving to yourself repeatedly, I am someone who reads, and each small action is evidence of identity. Number 3 is identity also drives long-term behavior, because when your habits align with your identity, motivation matters less, consistency comes naturally, and long-term growth compounds without having to rely on willpower. Number 4 is when applying this to reading, you don't have to finish books or read them fast. Just showing up daily, even for a few pages, cements the identity of being a reader, and eventually being a reader becomes automatic and not a chore. Also, it doesn't just apply to reading. You can apply this to anything. For example, if the outcome goal is I want to run a marathon, this is focusing on a result, and motivation can fluctuate. So if you miss a day of running, you feel like a failure. Whereas an identity-based goal would be to say, I am a runner. Because this focuses on who you are, not just what you can achieve. So every small action, like putting on your running shoes, doing a 10-minute jog, this is all proof of your identity. And what you'll find is consistency becomes natural because it's about being the type of person you want to be, not just hitting an end goal. So the key idea here is showing up in small ways daily, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes. Repeatedly, this reinforces your identity, which compounds into long-term results like reading or running marathons without having to rely on bursts of motivation. Atomic Habits was a great book to start with because I was someone that had to force myself to read at first. Now, after developing this habit, I can happily choose to read over scrolling on social media. And there are times I can get so into a book, it will be 4 hours before I even put it down. So it does prove with time and consistency, anyone can become a reader. Also, if you are into reading non-fiction books, you will actually accumulate knowledge faster. You'll have better discipline, patience and focus, and you'll also make better decisions. and you'll also expand your vocabulary amongst many other benefits. I did do some research recently, and a survey on YouGov UK published on the 5th of March 25 had found that the median UK adult reads 3 books per year, with 40% not reading a single book in the last 12 months. So what that means is when you commit to reading daily, even if it is just 10 pages, you're automatically ahead of the majority of people. Every page you read compounds and you absorb knowledge that most people never even encounter. So you also start seeing patterns, connections, and ideas that other people might miss. You also think clearer, as I said, make better decisions and understand the world on a deeper level. Now, just to be clear, I am not claiming to know everything just because I read. I am at the very beginning of my journey, and humility is key. I've got so much to learn on my journey of self-development and personal growth, but something that I do know is I am far better now than I was before I started reading, and it's changed my life completely. A year ago, I had to force myself to read 10 pages a day, and now I can't get enough. So my tip is to start small, find books that you have a strong interest in so it's more enjoyable, stay consistent and let tiny daily habits transform your life, 1 page at a time. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and comment below your favourite non-fiction book. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.